Consumer education is one of the elements on the FSC scorecard, which is applicable to financial sector clients. So it's 2 points. The code is listed under SED. All financial sector clients have to comply with consumer education in order for them to get those 2 points. So we do look at whether specific initiatives that the clients want to claim for consumer education do qualify or to comply with the standards. So all verification companies would normally ask for an ICPR unless they have a very straightforward initiative where they will be able to show evidence of all the elements or all the standards that they have to comply with. So even if they do not have an ICPR, they need to be able to show the verification agency that they comply with each and every standard, meaning that they need to have evidence of everything that's requested by them or required by them from the FSTC. In order for them to make it easier for the clients, they normally then get an independent person to do the review. So compliance review would only, you'd look at the content, you'd look at the initiative and see if they do comply according to the standards. So mostly we would then look and give feedback. So if a client wants us to look at their initiative, we then do a compliance review. So we look at the content, we look at where they're going to launch the initiative, implement the initiative. In most cases, when you do the compliance review, it might be an initiative that hasn't been implemented yet, or they wouldn't know exactly what their target market is or who their beneficiaries was. With a competent person's report, or in most instances, the initiative was already been implemented. We then look at all these other things against the standards, who the beneficiaries was, what was the threshold, income threshold, it's the content, it comply, all the other things that you look at when you do or issue a competent person's report. The first step would be the initial meeting that we will have with the client. Obviously, sometimes in most cases, we would not know what the initiatives are. We need to make sure whether the initiatives really came from the consumer education budget and whether it's really consumer education and not marketing. They would introduce us to their initiatives, what initiatives they have rolled out or implemented, and what kind of budget we are looking at. Two would then be when we review the activities. So we have done the introduction, we know now what the list of initiatives are. And then most cases, some clients would have campaigns that they roll out. So we need now to go into detail what the activities was, and we make sure that clients understand what the difference is between consumer education and course-related marketing, and make sure that the activities that we're looking at really complies or are in line with the guidance notes. Step 3, we look at the activities, and now we are coming to the actual content that they use. Whether it's going to be an awareness initiative or an interactive initiative. Awareness initiatives would be something maybe that they do on the radio. We still look at the content, what is being said. Is the content generic? We look at presentations then. If it was a face-to-face training or online training, the thing that we're looking out for is that does it really kind of speak to what the implementation of consumer education speaks to? And then we look at whether the most important thing that they're not pushing any products. This is really now the step that really determined whether can we issue the ICPR, or when we do another thing that I wanted to mention, when we do the review of the content, we then give them feedback to say that these are your gaps. If you want us to be able to issue an ICPR for you, these are the things that you have to work on. These are the kind of evidence that you have to gather. So this is really where we kind of made a decision, where we go and we scrutinize the data that they have given to us. So we go as far as to look at the beneficiaries, whether they're really 75% Black. We look at the content, whether it qualifies, whether they comply to the standards in terms of marketing, where they have to draw the line between the real content and really going out there to market certain products. And we then get the data from the clients. Sometimes, in most cases, when there's no COVID, we would then go do a site visit to see how they present, what they present on, to get the M&E data as well, so that we can determine whether they can tick all the boxes in terms of compliance. So this is really where we interact with clients, we do site visits, we call beneficiaries. For step 5, we then, after we've done that, we then now determine whether we'll be able to issue an ICPR or not. If we can't issue an ICPR, we then give them a report on the findings, where we also indicate to them what the gaps are in order for us to really tick the compliance box and issue them with an ICPR. So for step 6, that's now where you've complied with all of the standards. Then we'll be able to issue an ICPR. The ICPR is the report that you then take to your verification agency. It's normally done by an independent person, so the person would not be part of your board or your client base or your employees. In most cases, for us, we've never had comebacks from any verification agency where they've questioned our findings, because our reports are very detailed. So in our report, we would state the background. We would say we would indicate our verification assessment methodology. So what we've done to assess that specific initiative. We then just would give background on the standards as well, and against which standards we've vetted the initiatives and our findings. And then that report would be valid for 1 year from the date of issue. In all instances, when clients do consumer education, it's indirectly kind of linked to the products that they sell, although they're not allowed to kind of sell the products when they do the implementation of consumer education, but it makes their clients or the future customers understand products better so that they can make informed decisions. Another benefit is that if you comply with the consumer education standards, you'll be able to tick the compliance boxes on the FSTC scorecard, and you'll be able to get your 2 points. We've also realized that a lot of clients don't really know that some of the initiatives that they're already implementing can be claimed for consumer education. So if we can do the review for clients, then will be able to know whether some of the monies that they've spent on things that they didn't necessarily know can be counted as consumer education, might be to the benefit, and they will be able to count it for consumer education. The other thing about the alignment of the budget is that clients would not know whether it's really consumer education or it's course-related marketing, and we'll be able to advise clients on that as well. Alternative Prosperity's vision is to help shape organizations to contribute to a prosperous society. We support the national imperative of financial inclusion and improving financial education for all South African citizens.